We welcome you into beautiful San Juan, Puerto Rico as we get set for game number 1 of the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament here in 2024. Italy taking on Bahrain. Group B action here in Puerto Rico. 6 teams, only 1 ticket available. A trip to Paris on the line. These 2 teams, Javon, are getting ready to set things off and start this tournament off right. We'll take a look at our Group B standings here. No team has played a game, but you see the world rankings on the right provided by Nike. 13th, 67th. That is the matchup we have in front of us. Puerto Rico sandwiched in between 16th in the world. We will see them tomorrow. It's game 1 of 2 here in Puerto Rico. First game, Italy taking on Bahrain. A little later on, we'll see Mexico and Lithuania. And first, we'll get introduced to the team from Bahrain, the ultimate underdog in their first OQTs here in Puerto Rico. Should Bahrain advance beyond this stage, they will make their first Olympic Games. The odds seem insurmountable, but not impossible. In fact, one Asian team has done it before. Korea in 1964. In their summer games, they were able to qualify through the Olympic qualifying tournament and made it to Tokyo for the first time ever. Bahrain knows what's at stake. A lot on the line in game number 1. And they're going up against a team that has been there before. Been to the Olympic Games, that is. This is the 9th Olympic qualifying tournament for Italy as they get introduced to the crowd. In their previous 8 appearances in the OQTs, they've gotten through 4 times. The last time they were in the OQTs back in 2020, they survived in Belgrade, defeating the home nation Serbia in the finals to move on to Tokyo. A ton of talent on this team, a ton of experience on this team, and a ton of passion coming from their head coach. Should be a good one. Italy and Bahrain. But first, the playing of the national anthems.
Now please you will rise and stand up to hear the national anthem of Bahrain.
Moments away from tip-off, the first game here in San Juan, Puerto Rico in the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in 2024. Bahrain taking on Italy. And we'll now be introduced to 3 officials who will be in charge of keeping this game in check. As we take a look at Johan Rosso from France, the crew chief, Carlos Peralta from Ecuador, and Araba Nujam from Lebanon. Carlin Gay alongside Javon Shepard, former Canadian national team member. Javon, you've played at this stage, you've played at this intensity level. What are the players feeling in the first game of a tournament?
Well, first game like this, right? You know what's at stake, and you mentioned it earlier. You have one shot at punching your last ticket to the Olympics. And there is some nerves, but at the same token, guys know they have to come out, they have to set the tone early. They have to swing first and just be the aggressor. Be the aggressor and assert yourself early.
Here's the starting five for Bahrain: Chisholm, Haji, Milad, Hamuda, and Z Hamuda. Two Hamudas in the starting five for Coach Jad El Haj, who leads Bahrain into their first ever FIBA Olympic qualifiers, hoping to get to the Olympics for the first time in a nation's history. On the other side, a team very familiar with the Olympic Games. In fact, a couple silver medals to brag about in Italy. But this is a very different squad. Before we get to Italy, let's take a look at Wayne Chisholm, a player who's going to have a lot on his shoulders for Bahrain.
Yeah, definitely a lot of it on his shoulders without Mustafa Reed with Bahrain, but everything is going to go through Wayne Chisholm, right? We're talking about a guy that's a double-double machine, has played a plethora of countries, and has a ton of experience at 37 years old, right? He's tough, he's intense, he's going to be relentless on the offensive boards, on the defensive boards, but he has to set the tone, like I mentioned earlier, for his team, being a veteran, being an aggressor, asserting himself, and just being tough, right? Because Bahrain right now, they're not going to match up against Italy with talent, with skill, but can they out-tough them? If they can out-tough them, they give themselves a chance.
You saw Jed El Haj, the head coach, here leading his squad in Puerto Rico. Here is the starting five for Italy on the other side. Plenty of experience. Nicola Melli manning the middle, the front line. Petruccelli, Polonara. Spissu in the backcourt getting the start. And Tonut joining him in the backcourt. And they're, of course, led by their head coach, Gianmarco Pazzecco, a player who knows about getting to the Olympic Games, knows about winning Olympic medals, a very fiery and passionate individual, but he's going to need a lot out of his vet in Danilo Gallinari.
Gallinari, right? We're talking about a guy that's played 14 seasons in the NBA, and if he looks across and sees that Bahrain team, right, there's nobody that's 6'10 over there. There's nobody that has his wingspan. So, yeah, Gallinari likes to play on the perimeter, has a lot of skill, but take advantage, right? Impose yourself, be dominant down low, and there's going to be a number of mismatches, whether Italy's going to their pick and rolls, and he's going to have the size advantage, getting that ball in the post and just extending over the defense to make things easy. But also, attracting some double teams, getting the focus of the defense, and now kicking the ball out. You have a number of shooters on your team. When he's on the floor, he's also coming off of the bench, right? So Bahrain is going to get a little bit smaller, a lot more to take advantage of when he checks into the game.
Inside a minute to go before the opening tip, our countdown to tip-off presented by Tissot. As you see, both teams now stepping onto the floor. This is the biggest arena on the island of Puerto Rico here in the Caribbean. It's sure to be jam-packed throughout the week as fans come in to see the best of the best compete for a chance to go on to the Olympic Games. Bahrain will be wearing the road red uniforms, Italy in the home white. Reminder, after this one, we will see Mexico and Lithuania get their tournament started. There's already some Lithuanian fans, which should not surprise you. They travel well.
And they travel with passion.
They do. You might even hear some during this game as a warm-up to theirs a little later. Melli and Chisholm will line up for the tip. And off we go here in 2024, the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. Bahrain with the first possession. Going from right to left on your screen. Hamuda shot the ball well this season as he is off the mark on that three-point opportunity.
Still a good look coming off of that Iverson cut, stepping into his jump shot.
36% this year. Playing in Division I basketball. Melly from the corner. It's off the mark. Ball up for grabs. Spisu had the rebound, and Javon is going to get his first touch of the tournament.
Well, the ball knows a real shooter, right? So right over to me. But on that first action, you see the patience of Italy, right? Tanu, with about 7 seconds, splits the screen and the kick out for the shot to get the offensive rebound, and obviously it lands in my hands because the ball knows where to go.
Your playing days are over, my friend. You're sitting next to me for the next week. Polonara for 3. Off the mark. Melly was battling inside. And Hamuda comes away with the rebound. As you take a look at these two teams and they start to kind of feel themselves out, what does Bahrain really have to do to try and secure a victory and pull off this upset here in game number 1?
Well, one is rebounding basketball. Right? If they're going to do the job on the defensive, then you've got to close it out with those possessions and get out and give yourself a chance running the basketball.
So new shot off the mark. And a push back the other way here for Milad. Hamuda. Aji. Chisholm's first touch. He's going to set the screen now for Zihamuda. And that's kicked out of bounds. Good kick saved by Melly.
Well, again, good patience there, right? You get the ball up in transition. The ball touches 2 sides, and now you're looking to get the ball into the post to Chisholm. And that's your feature player, right? You want to get him some touches early, get him a flow, get him some rhythm.
Get the reset on the shot clock. Let's see if they can do that again. He sets a couple of screens. Deep 3 by Haji, and it's off the mark. Still no score. 90 seconds into the game. Spisu. Polonara sets the screen, rolls to the rack, but the pass is behind him, slowed him down a bit. Someone lost their man, and the first bucket comes from John Petruccelli.
And great assist by Polonara on the cut, right? Had the matchup in the post, have an open cutter, get him an easy layup.
Chisholm with a heavy screen. Going to set it again, and that's going to be an offensive foul this time.
You know what? He knew it was going to be a matter of time, right? He set 2 really good ones, but he's built like a fridge. So if he's not set in both feet, you can see here, great cut, nice pass, nice finish, left-handed. Great action there. But if Chisholm isn't going to be set, right, he's got to give his guards a chance.
The last thing Bahrain needs is for Chisholm to pick up 2 quick fouls and then sit on the bench. And that's going to be an offensive foul, so we're going to go the other way.
Well, Petruccelli did the right thing there. Chisholm with a moving screen earlier, he's sending a message, right? I'm going to go right through your chest. You're not just going to knock around my teammate.
Zihamuda setting things up here for Bahrain, who have yet to score. Here's Chisholm, his first real touch of the basketball, gave it up quickly. Aji, Hamuda could not catch it cleanly. Chisholm from the corner for 3 off the mark. And it's vacuumed in by Polonara. It's a good matchup here between Melly and Chisholm. Melly rolls at the foul and attacking right to the rim, counted and the foul.
That's the luxury Italy has, right? You get Melly on that pocket pass. He can put the ball on the floor, he can make a decision. But there, what he did, one dribble to the basket after he surveyed the floor. Nobody steps up. And Chisholm just late with that swipe down. And you got to let that one go, right? You can't pick up your second one early. You mean too much to this team. But again, Melly's skill, his talent, obviously he's physical, but for him to catch that ball on the move and make a decision, that's a big luxury for Coach Pasecco to have.
So 2 quick fouls picked up by Chisholm as he catches a rock top of the key. Surveys the situation, sets another hard screen. 3 off the mark, Chisholm taps it up, chases it down. It's going to stay here with 14 on the shot clock as his last touch by Italy. Sportsmanship shown there by Chisholm. He is laying the wood.
Yeah, he is. Built like a fridge.
Petruccelli took a shot to his chops. Hamuda will inbound. Here's the look.
Chisholm, Petruccelli going after it. Both guys sacrificing their body early on this one.
Petruccelli's chin came down on the top of that dome of Chisholm. Another turnover here for Bahrain, and they struggling to get into rhythm here early on in this game. That normally happens in the tournament.
It does, and you know what? Credit Italy for their defense, right? They're really using their length. You can see coming off that stagger on the baseline, 2 screens on the baseline, really no room, and Chisholm just wasn't ready for the pass.
Spisu thought about the 3. Kicks it back out. Tonut back to Spisu. His floater left it short. He thought he got hit. The follow there by Molinaro doesn't go. Zihobuda in the open floor. Step back. That's a tough look. It's off the mark.
That's tough, right? You want, if you're going to take that shot in transition, you want it at the basket, right? You're going 1-on-4. Italy comes up with the rebound.
Melli shows and goes. Kicks it out. Good ball movement here from Italy. And that foul is called late, but the correct call is Spisu with the deck.
Late call.
It's going to be the 3rd team foul already here for Bahrain here in the first 4 minutes of this one. Here's the foul.
Spisu splitting the defense. And Salma just getting in there late.
A couple fouls he could have called there.
Yeah.
And so Muto got him first. So 14 on the clock for Italy to work with now. Melli got away with a walk. Spisu from the corner for 3. It's off the mark. One thing Italy can really sort of dominate this tournament, if they're able to shoot the ball well from deep, they're going to be a problem. Right now, off the mark, 0 from deep so far to start the game.
Yeah, and you know, law of averages, right? At some point it's going to drop, but if you have Melli in the middle like they have and they're running everything through him, you have 4 other shooters on the floor, and he does a good job passing the basketball, making those plays.
Aji lost it out of control and goes out of bounds. Another turnover here for Bahrain, who still has not scored to start this game. They're very self-aware coming into this tournament, knowing that this is really a learning experience here playing at this level. The first time they're playing at the OQTs. Well aware that Italy, a team, plenty of experience, including Olympic experience. Bahrain's never been played at a FIBA Basketball World Cup.
Yeah, so this is a completely different experience for them, right? You can see, obviously, haven't put any points on the board yet. When you think about the young guys on this team, for everybody that's haven't played at this level, at this capacity, right? You have to think kind of shell-shocked at first, but you normalize that, right?
Chisholm watched by Melli. Hamuda, he's put up a couple shots. Good pocket pass there to Chisholm, and finally get a bucket out of Bahrain. Good action that time.
Great action.
Tonut. Chisholm almost picked up his 3rd. Melli was left alone for a second, now goes back to the basket. Chisholm has to be careful. Melli goes through him and puts it in.
Well, Chisholm was a little bit more aggressive on the ball screen, didn't get back in time, and Melli just taking advantage of that late, getting back into the play and getting the easy one at the rim, using his body.
Issa into the game for the first time here tonight. Hamuda for 3, off the mark. Nice pull down by Stefano Tonut. Italy just doesn't look crisp right now to start the game. Working themselves into this tournament. Nice shot an air ball, and Molinaro has it go off of his knee and out of bounds. But they call a foul on Wayne Chisholm. It's his 3rd.
That one hurts. That one really hurts for Bahrain right now. Chisholm upset. See walking back to the bench, infuriated.
And now a team that does not have a ton of size gets even smaller. As you take a look at the foul, you be the judge.
Well, you know what? That's a tough one. It looked like the ball went off of Polinaro's knee, but he was falling over. And as you mentioned, right, Bahrain gets a little smaller, but Italy gets a little bigger with Mariani checking in.
Gallinari, number 8, White, checks into the game. And that 3 cashed in that time by Tonut. Extends the lead, 10-2. Issa. It's an open shot for Hamuda. He's off the mark, and Melli vacuums it in. 1 and done every time down the floor right now for Bahrain.
Tough shots, right? Nick, Bahrain's got to understand, like, they're the quicker team, right? Use your quickness, use your strength to your advantage.
So Newt just hit a 3. This is great ball movement. Spisu thought about it, driving instead. A tough look on the floater. Almost got it to fall, but he'll have to earn him at the line.
A little Harlem Globetrotter basketball. Spisu attacking. The slower, bigger defender takes the bump out of bounds and just gets up that floater. Good job just reading the defense. Has a chance to knock down 2.
10-2 is your score. Italy in front with 3:24 remaining in the first period. Our first timeout here of the game. Reminder, you can get in on the action and the conversation using the hashtag FIBA OQTs on social media. This will give us a chance to listen in to the Bahrain Huddle for the first time tonight.
La compañía de turismo de Puerto Rico. Poncha tu pasaporte a la aventura a través de puertolisteando.com. No olvides los descuentos y conocer tu bella isla de encanto, Puerto Rico. Puertolisteando.com. Compañía de turismo de Puerto Rico.
See, back screen للصباح. Then you come to take ball, hand off the screen. You create two-man game. It can be short roll. I have here Haji behind the screen. I have Faisal and Salah.
Get the ball low.
Go shoulder to
So you're in the
shoulder.
zone of the shot.
Let's go. Yalla, let's go.
Couple sights and sounds from the first 7 minutes of play here in the game. It's been struggle city right now for Bahrain. You see the emotions. At this point in the game, though, you know it's the first time you're at the OQTs at this level for your nation. At this point in the game, you got to, it's just basketball, right? Like, nerves are gone.
The nerves should be gone, right? And you got to make it easier on yourself, right? Bahrain right now, 1 for 9 from the floor, but 6 of those shots have been from 3. And we've seen some tough ones off the dribble in transition. You got to make the game easier. Just make it a little bit simpler. Get to the rack, get downhill. You have some skills. You have some guys that can put the ball on the floor. Use your speed, use that to your advantage, and get yourself to the rack. Try and draw some fouls and see the ball go through the hoop.
Spisu knocks down 1 of 2 from the line. And for the first time tonight, we will see Nico Mannion check into the game for Italy. Italy, a very deep team at the wing and guard position. Even though they're missing a ton of names, Simon Fontecchio not here.
Yep.
He was terrific in Belgrade as they were able to get through to the Olympic Games in Tokyo. That's good ball movement. You mentioned the penetrating kick.
And I've been waiting for that from Tio Muda, right? Attacking the basket. Now you draw 2 and great drop down pass for an easy layup.
Tough guard for Azam on the other end as Melly punches it home. There's an example of the size maybe being an issue defensively.
Gallinari catching that ball in the post, being patient. Now he makes his move to the baseline with a drop-off pass to Melly for 2.
Melly pokes it out of bounds. 6 seconds on the shot clock for Bahrain to work.
Those are, you see deflections, those are indications that one team's more aggressive, one team's a bit more alert. Right now, the Bahrain, right, they got to be a bit more crisp with the basketball. Here you see the baseline to the right, Melly drop-off pass, and just clears out space, going up, punching it. Great pass. Great finish.
Some great looks from our camera crew. Every angle of that finish by Nicolo Melli. Hassan, number 34, in red on the floor. He has the rock, has to put it up quickly. A wild shot as the shot clock was expiring, but that's great defense that time by Italy, showing Hassan bodies.
Well, seeing the clock wind down, everybody's on a string. You get a double team, you get a rotation. You got a shot went up all right. Went up over the backboard. Almost hit the shot clock. Turnover.
Ali Rashid into the game. Number 6 in red for Bahrain. He's on the rock guarding Nico Mannion. Paola inside to Gallinari. Second touch on the block. They don't send a double. Paola gets the up fake. Gallinari now, 3 to shoot. Gallinari puts it up over the defender and hits the back iron. And 1 and done that time for Italy. Hamuda has been the primary playmaker here for Bahrain in this first quarter.
Yeah, he's got to handle the pressure. Right, they're really getting into him and trying to make him cough the ball up. Picks up a foul there. But the more he can handle it, the more he can get crafty, get to the rim, get his teammates involved. Right, then your offense will start to flow a bit. But he's got to be the one for the team. The ball's going to be in his hands. He's got to accept this pressure. And like you mentioned before, this is a great experience for a young guy like him.
And there's going to be a lot on the shoulders here in San Juan without the presence of Mustafa Rashid, who led the team in the pre-Olympic qualifiers that got Bahrain here. Was dominant, 23 points per game, really led the way for it. It's a great drive by Issa, but could not finish it.
Gotta finish your breakfast. $1 million move, 5-cent finish.
Three knocked down by Abbasid. We were talking, watching Italy practice yesterday. You mentioned Abbas has added that to his game.
Yeah, I played against him when he was a lot younger. He was very raw, and just to see him add the three-point game and just the efficiency, just understanding what is a good shot for him.
Broken floor opportunity here for Bahrain, and Hamuda going up and under for the finish.
Forcing a turnover, getting out into transition. Hamuda in the easy layup, right? Got to get more of that, get a bit more intense on the defensive end. Deflections, even if it's not steals, deflections.
Under a minute to play here in the first period. First game for these two teams. Gallinari for three, indeed. Delino Gallinari hits his first.
That's tough. We're talking about 6'10", the ball's rotating, gets back into his hands. Nobody's going to get there to contest it.
Largest lead of the game right now for Italy. 19-6 to score. Issa for three, trying to respond, can't get it to go. Mannion taps it to himself. 2-for-1 opportunity available for Mannion if he goes quick. The window's closed now. Paola will try to work this possession. 10 on the shot clock. Two-man game between he and Gallinari. That's a great look. Ricci, tough look underneath. Can't get it to go. Hamuda with 10 to shoot. The foul is called on the floor before the shot, says the official, as Gallinari takes a take foul right at center court. Be a side out here for Bahrain. 9.3 remaining in the quarter. A good opportunity to try and close this first quarter with momentum. Pressuring Rashid. Foul's called. It's a shooting foul. A terrible call, or terrible foul rather, to take in that moment with 2.6 seconds. Rashid had nothing in front of him
at all.
Yeah, Mannion should know better in that position.
Well, you get the double team right there. A little bit too anxious, and Mannion getting his hand in there at the last second, and a good job drawing the foul. But yeah, terrible foul. Now you have a chance at three to close out this quarter. Great intention by Italy, right? The aggression, shot clock winding down, but tough foul with 2.6 left. Rashid knocking down the first of three.
He averaged 8 points, 2 assists in the pre-tournament qualifiers. Bahrain looked great in the pre-Olympic qualifiers, going 5-0, sweeping right through the tournament to get here for the first time.
Well, I'll also tell you this, right? Based on how this game started, it's a 10-point game going into the second quarter, and they hadn't played well for about 8 minutes, right? So they don't have really much to worry about right now. Going to this huddle to see what's worked in the last 2-3 minutes of this game and build on that.
19-9 your score. Italy in front after the first 10 minutes of play here in the FIBA Olympic qualifiers in 2024. Take a look at some of the numbers from the first 10 minutes of play. Bahrain 0 for 7 from three-point range. And that's an opportunity for them to stay in the game. Considering, as you mentioned, they're only down 10. As poorly as they've been shooting and playing, they're still within striking distance.
Yeah, remember, they've turned the basketball over a lot early and really just had knocked down shots. 4 turnovers in that first quarter, and those are opportunities that you're handing to Italy. So if they're getting themselves a bit more rhythm, getting themselves a bit more confidence, I would say throughout the entire team, right? The 12 guys are on the floor. As soon as you check in, you've got to have some belief. You've got to trust that the ball's going to drop and just taking care of it. That starts with crisp passes and guys getting open, stepping into the defense, giving the offense, giving your teammate a target to get you the basketball, just little things like those.
Here's some of the best plays from the first period. The size of Italy start to take advantage in the back half of that first period.
Inside-outside game, a lot of cuts to the baskets. We're seeing a lot of open looks. They played a lot through Melly in that mid-post. Pick and roll actions, a guy that's skilled. See here, the hesitation, move to the basket, can make passes. So tough to guard, but a team that's so cohesive and just a big-time unit. Chisholm.
He had the 3 fouls in the first quarter. Wasn't really able to get in the rhythm of the game. You wonder how early he comes back here in the second period, because he does have to come on the floor.
Yeah, he's got to come back out, but I think you'll be on that bench a bit longer, probably about 5 minutes. And you think about it, this Bahrain team, they played well, right? They start to pick up the rhythm, start to see some things flow for them while he's been on the bench. So he's going to come back in full swing.
It'll be Italy basketball to start the second period. A reminder, scan the QR code on your screen right now and download Courtside 1891 stream, schedule, scores, and so much more. Follow along at the Olympic qualifying tournament here in San Juan and in the 3 other countries in Europe. Second quarter underway here. Italy basketball to start. They're in the white jerseys, leading by 10, 19-9 to score. Abbas. It's great ball movement. Paiola driving inside. The drive and kick game looking good, and Gallinari pays it off.
Open shot, right? And it starts from one of the most traditional offenses out of a Horns action. You get a cross screen down low to Abbas, and now you get the ball swinging. Open shot.
Good steal there. Paiola comes away with it. Finds Mannion, excuse me. And Abbas tried to stuff it back in. No one coming back defensively, and it leads to an offensive board for Italy. Here's Ricci. Gallinari wants to touch on the block once again. A quick foul called as Gallinari smacking the hand of Adams off of his back. Whistle blows. Get some subs here from Bahrain. Aji will check back into the game with 3 in red, and Ali Milad at number 15 in red. Back into the game for Bahrain as they try to weather the storm with Wayne Chisholm on the bench with 3 fouls. That's way too easy as Abbas plays it in.
He's taking the screen, some miscommunication, and Abbas just making himself available, big target, easy 2 points under the basket.
Milad has it. Take the screen from Hassan. A kick, it's a 3 on the way, and now 0 for 8 is Bahrain after that miss. A man down behind the play trying to hustle to get back in as Italy plays 5 on floor. Gallinari, Mannion in and out, and Hamuda with the flat-footed rebound. Hamuda crossing over. Gets the switch. Gallinari poked it out of his hands, so he regained the dribble. Abbas watching him. Hamuda's very exhausted, having a lot of possession of the basketball. That mid-range jump shot off the mark. Paiola finds Gallinari on the cut. Patience by Gallinari as he's able to draw the foul, and he'll earn 2 at the line.
You can see the experience of Gallinari when he plays. Everything he does is at his speed. You can't speed him up, you can't slow him down. A good catch here. Could have just went right up with it, gets the defense in the air, gets the foul. He says, nope, I'm gonna go for the easier 2 strike.
Azam picks up the foul. The whistle allows for some substitutions as Ali Hassan will hit the bench. And Mo Hamuda will come back into the game, number 23 in red. Well, Danilo Gallinari now the face of this program. You see Gigi Datome sitting over there on the bench as one of the coaches. It's all on Gallinari now, age 35. How he performs will dictate how well this team will play.
Yeah, and you know it was impressive just watching him in practice yesterday, and not necessarily known as a defender. but what he was doing was a big-time communicator on the back line of the defense. And I thought that was impressive to see from him because the other 4 guys, they follow his order, right? They follow his lead, and if he's going to give something on the defensive end, then that's big for this team.
That's happening right now. You can hear him barking out instructions to his team, and they're right now locking in defensively as a shot clock winding down. The steal there by Mannion in the open floor, showing you the speed. Nico Mannion exploding to the rim.
Well, Nico gets the 2 points, but it also, you know, to our point earlier, that was Gallinari shuffling and moving his feet and forcing a tough pass, which the offense coughs it up.
Italy putting the clamps on defensively now. They are moving, communicating well. Gallinari has a switch, and another steal coming up. Abbas, a 3-on-2 opportunity. Richie tried to pass it over to Gallinari, but good hands that time by Ula. A 3 on the way, off the mark. They are now 0 for 9, Bahrain, but able to get the offensive rebound. Putback is Hassan. Cracking to double digits, 27-11 your score. 7 minutes remaining here in the first half. Mannion, Gallinari, Richie cutting well. Abbas for 3. In and out, but it looked good coming off of his hand.
Really good coming, and confident taking, just knowing, okay, the basketball's coming, I'm on the weak side, I'm the last rotation, I'm gonna have time to let it go.
Milad gets tripped there by Mannion. It's the first team foul here for Italy in the second quarter. Here's a look at Nico Mannion.
Hey! Getting up at 1 foot. Little here, Nico Mannion. A little bit, just a little bit.
The 2 coaches, a lot of experience on both sides. Coach Pizzeco, of course, building his own legendary story. It's already written as a player, now as a head coach, trying to take Italy back to the Olympic Games, back-to-back summer games. Able to complete the task, brought them to Tokyo. They finished 5th in that appearance. That's a block by Gallinari. He squished the bug on the glass that time. Mannion inside Ricci, using his body well. Can't get it to go. It's going to go the other way as his last touch by Italy.
Ricci has got a couple of those under the basket where he just hasn't been able to finish and get a good catch on it. He's doing a good job of running the wing. And guys are finding him. Those are ones you look back after the game, and everybody goes to the box score. Don't let anybody fool you. You're looking at those, you're like, man, I missed 2 chippies. That could have been 4 points. That could have been 6 points.
Amuda. Issa. Amuda top of the key. This is good ball movement from Bahrain. A 3 on the way. Their first of the night. Ahmed Hachi drills it.
Take until you make until you miss.
First time in this game now, able to knock it down, and maybe that opens the floodgates for Bahrain. Still playing without Wayne Chisholm in this one. He's picked up 3 quick fouls. Watching from the sideline, and he sees Gallinari drill a 3.
It's so pretty watching Gallinari, take those jump shots. And again, all the time in the world at his size, at his height, when he catches that basketball and tees it up, great rotation.
Spread is 16. Another 3 opportunity banked in. Haji starting to feel it a little bit.
I mean, if you're shooting it off the glass like that, the bank is open, you've got to be feeling it.
Iola inside, Ricci, another bunny miss. Muda. Mula. Issa now, double team. That's a nice find inside. Hamza puts it in. And look at Bahrain stringing a couple baskets together, and you can feel momentum swinging in their direction.
Great job by Issa working that tightrope in that left corner there, right? Didn't allow that baseline to be a third defender, keeping his dribble alive, and a great pass for Easy 2 under the basket.
Leads to a timeout with 4:54 remaining. Coach Prosecco will address his team, and all these drop in.
abbiamo concesso il tiro da tua sa perché? Noi dobbiamo corriamo, perché vediamo due giocatori che corrono qua e rimaniamo qua, non correre qua. Dai. Andiamo, Gallo.
Bene, dai.
Así es que muchas gracias.
Maio. Abby e
Le dio un besito a Messi.
Take a look at the last three from Danilo Gallinari. That was sandwiched between a couple of threes by Haji, including this bank shot. Found the range, and that seemed to spark something for Bahrain.
They're just understanding now it's a matter of intensity, right? It's not anything tactical. We're not looking over at Italy and saying we're bigger, we're stronger, we're more skilled, we're more talented. But they figured out that we've got to play with a bit more fire. We've got to play with a bit more force. And when you do that, you can catch any defense sleeping.
Shooting just 32% from the field, but you wonder if those threes might open up floodgates for them offensively. Gallinari has been comfortable on the block tonight. Finds Melli, and they're going to count it and the foul. That time was just size and effort. Too big, too strong inside, and Melli will go to the line for one more.
It was the same action they started the second quarter with, right? Out of that horns action, and you get the post touch to Gallinari here without the cross screen. Strong side, dump it in. Gallinari just so skilled, right? And now, you know, one dribble to the basket, dropping it off to Melli. Those two have some really good connection, have some good chemistry there, just knowing that the basketball is going to be delivered for an and one opportunity.
Melli completes it as he gets the free throw to fall. And see Hamuda will check back into the game. You mentioned how skilled Gallinari is. We know his shooting prowess. We know he's able to put it on the deck, but I think his playmaking kind of gets lost in all of that.
It does, right? Because he's not only making the assists, but sometimes the hockey assist, the pass to the pass. And I don't think we speak enough about his IQ on the offensive end. We always are so enamored by his ability, his touch, his ability to shoot, but it's his IQ.
Haji with the heat check, that time an air ball, so we'll go the other way.
And a little defense in there too. Gallinari closing out just enough to block the view, and I don't know if the back door is open, but you get a little air ball there.
It is a little chilly in this venue.
Little nippy, little nippy.
Gallinari, great spin and move to the basket. Danilo Gallinari showing you the tricks.
Well, when we featured him to start this game, that's what we're talking about. It's taking advantage of his size, get that ball in the post here. This is coming off of a cross screen, and again, he's spinning to the baseline, his strong hand. Nobody steps up, no resistance, he's playing above the rim.
The last couple of possessions on the post, he took his time. That time went quickly before the defense got there. His 12th point of the night. Let's listen in to the Bahrain Hub.
You bump, you front. You bump and front. Big guy behind and one more. 4 men here and we are in zone. We cheat zone, so bump and front. They can't pass the ball inside.
Just stay.
So you stay behind.
I need a good bump.
And big two balls. Now next day I want to go speed. We call it red. Okay, so Haji, you have the ball, you dribble for Mesa. Okay, see. Back screen here, Amir here, and I have Mu'allai. You come here. So dribble hand of Mesa, you're dribbling. Haji, you take back screen from Z and one more screen from Amir. If you can't shoot Mu'allai, you take the exit here. And we create. Nothing happens. Don't screen you and fight.
Good screen. Good screen.
أول ما يطلع.
So here's a little bit of Danilo Gallinari's work. Felt Hamuda that time, and as you said, spinning baseline. There's so much space that time.
The IQ, right? Felt that bump early on the right side, on his high side, and then spins off of that left pivot, just knowing that Hamuda is not going to be able to catch up and compete off of that.
See Bahrain come without it a timeout as we close in on the 4-minute mark here in the second quarter. And Petruccelli's going to pick up the foul way away from the basket. second team foul here for Italy in the quarter.
You're okay with those. If you're Coach Pasecco, those fouls right there where defense is aggressive and the defense is switching out and doubling out to take away, you know, I'm okay with those because it shows that your team is playing with intensity. It shows that your team is playing with some aggression.
Spissu checking into the game for Italy, as is Polonara. Molinari will sit. Viola will sit as well. Bahrain basketball, 14 on the shot clock for them to work with. Still no Wayne Chisholm as he sits with the 3 fouls. Issa. They close out and find Hamuda, who was open at the mid-range, and he knocked it down. A shot he had to make.
Well, you know, a perfect pass because the defense jumped out, miscommunication. 2 guys came out on the perimeter off of that baseline screen, and a great pass dumping it down.
Aji knocked down a couple of threes. Italy said no more. They sent 2 bodies at him as he came off the roll. Abbas for 3. Confident stroke. Can't get it to fall. A flat-footed rebound for Spissu. A good seal inside by Polonara, but he'll have to earn him at the line.
Got an inside position there. Bahrain switching everything. And that's what happens sometimes is, you know, you get an offensive rebound and everybody's cross-match, and now you have a size advantage. Dumping it down to Polonara. Have no choice but to wrap him up.
It's the 4th team foul for Bahrain. The next one will put them in a penalty. Here's what you were talking about.
Cross-match, and like you see, above the shoulders. Saying it's on the floor, but I'm not too sure there. This is the basket before. Open, wide open shot. Right outside, about 14 feet in that dunker spot.
Ali Hassan getting ready to check back in, number 34 in red. Hassan getting the last minute instructions by Chad Minaj, the head coach. Polonara will take the free throw with the lane empty here. Knocks down the first. There's a technical foul called prior to free throw, so it'll be Italy basketball here on the unsportsmanlike foul.
Yeah. Sportsmanlike, you get 2 there with the possession.
Tonut. Melli. Spissu on the rolling Melli. Tonut for 3. Off the mark. Melli battling inside, and Abbas comes away with it. He got fouled, and that's the one that's going to put them over the limit. So Italy will shoot free throws for the rest of the quarter. 3:03 remaining in the quarter.
Bahrain hits every one of those. Right, you force a tough shot. Tonut falling to that baseline in the corner. Got to find a way to come up with that rebound. And no, you don't have the size, but as soon as that shot goes up, got to find bodies. It sounds cliche, and every coach, you know, talks about that the first day of training camp, boxing out, boxing out, boxing out. Well, that's a prime example there, especially for Bahrain right now, to give himself a chance. Find a body, push him out, close out the possession, and try and get yourself a look on the offensive side.
Take a look at Abbas. You mentioned his development playing for Cantu. Made his pro debut at 18 years of age, now 31 years old, and has a full trophy case of Italian Super Cups.
And he was
that
that
ton of them.
Same size about 10 years ago when I played against him. He was young then, very raw, but always tough, always physical. And it's nice to see these guys develop their game and become the players that they are and be students of the game, right? Because for him to be at the national team level, he couldn't just be as raw as he was, just an athlete. Had to fine-tune his game, add a 3-point shot, add the ability to put the ball on the floor. So a number of these guys.
That's the 8th turnover on the 8-second violation there by Bahrain. 39-21 as Polonara for 3, can't get it to go. And Hassan with the rebound. Issa. Gets it to Hassan. Hamuda with a good cut. He's battling inside with Melli, showing a couple of fakes. Hamuda got it up, can't get it to go. And the rebound pulled down by Spissu as he smiles on his way up the floor. Looking for Abbas, tapped out of bounds. Good backtrack there by Hassan. Yeah. hustling back on defense.
In fact, just having that sense of urgency, getting the tip on the ball. Now you can match up 5 and 5.5 court.
Melly showing some experience that time.
Not sure it worked. I had the chance to match up, but Melly still found a way to get an easy 2.
20-point lead now for Italy. Haji for 3, hit the side of the backboard, and Melly vacuums in another board. Points in the paint, +8 for Italy. Under 2 minutes to play here in the second. Molinaro for 3, off the mark. And Issa will push back the other way. Issa showing the handle that time. Maybe too much dribbling now, needs help. Good cut by Hamuda. Forces one up, he gets fouled, they'll have to earn him at the line.
Well, Hamuda has twice now where he's gone backdoor, used the aggression of Italy to get himself a look under the basket. And, you know, you'd mentioned Issa dribbling the basketball maybe a little bit too much, but there's also the other 4 guys that are standing a little too much. Great cut, backdoor cut here. Want to see a bit more of that, because what happens is you loosen up the defense, and even if Hamuda doesn't get the basketball, there's somebody that's going to be open in the corner because he's cut backdoor and forced the defense to make a reaction.
Very different role he's played here in this second quarter after really being the primary ball handler in the first 10 minutes of play. He's been off the ball a lot here in the second quarter. And you've played at the national team level, and having to kind of sacrifice the things that you would do with your pro or club team might be the hardest thing to do as a player. It's really only the 1 percentile or the 99th percentile that really gets to keep their same role when they play for their country.
Yeah, and even for those guys, it's still an adjustment because the other 11 guys on the team can really play, and they're pushing you. But that is one of the sacrifices that you have to make to play at the national team level. Is every one of these guys on the floor right now are the man for their respective teams. So when you get here, there's a lot more sacrifice and just being selfless in order, you know, to have some success.
The best teams do it and normally end up successful. Tonut with the tough drive and finish. Hamuda. Rashid. As we approach the last minute of play here in the first half. That's great ball movement now from Bahrain, and unable to knock down the 3.
And that's a shot you have to keep taking.
Molinaro almost gave it away as Tonut with another layup this time, and one opportunity.
I'll tell you this much, Stefano Tonut, he hasn't seen a shot he doesn't like. He's another guy I played against when he was a lot younger, and he knows how to put it up. He believes in himself. You see there, catches the basketball in transition and doesn't think twice. Built, physically strong, has the body to absorb contact, likes to initiate it, and likes to put the ball through the hoop, get and-one opportunities like he just did right here.
7 points and counting now for Tonut. Full court pressure shown by Italy, trying to wear down this Bahrain team. By the time they get into their offense, they're closing 10 seconds on the shot clock. That 3, no good by Rashid. 30 seconds to play here in the first half. Here's Tonut. Good find inside to Molinaro. Mannion has to pull it out with 5 to shoot now. Molinaro is going to have to work quickly. He drives. Sloppy possession here for Italy. But they get a foul to close it out as Spissu was bailed out. And he'll go to the line for 2. Shot clock expired. Let's see if the officials made the correct call here.
It wasn't the prettiest. Molinaro, whether he traveled or not, made a pass to Spissu over his shoulder. I don't know if he even seen him, but got the ball there, and Spissu picks up the foul under the basket. 14 seconds left.
Saw the replay, Issa getting Spissu on the forearm, bailing him out. And Marco Spissu toes the line for the first time tonight. Makes his first. Missed the free throw, excuse me. He's living in the future, makes the second. Splits the pair. 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Rashid, watched by Spissu. He's gonna have to go quickly. Grashet has to put it up. He's fouled. And he'll go to the line for 2.8 seconds remaining. It's a bad foul again to close the quarter from Italy. Yeah, it happened in the first and now in the second.
Melli's pleading with the officials, but I think that one was clear as day. All right, Spisu gambled on that last play there, and there you can see just reaching in across the body. Not sure what there is to really.
I think he was complaining that it should have been on the floor instead of in the motion. Doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah,
Bahrain in the penalty.
In penalty, yeah. He was already in his shooting motion. He's probably going to be an off balance off that back foot.
Two free throws made there. And a quick sub for Bahrain as Issa will sit. And Hamza will check in for defensive purposes. Don't want to give up a bucket with less than a second here on the clock. And they won't. As Ali Hassan ends the first half with the ball in his possession.
He's made a couple of those plays playing a defensive back there.
Definitely did. 47-25. First half score, Italy in front in their first game here at the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico. Take a look at some of the numbers here from the first half. Bahrain getting to the line and making the free throws. Three-point shot just not falling for him, 2 of 16. And we knew this was going to be a struggle for them all game long. +9 on the rebounding count for Italy. Got to circle the ball movement though. 19 assists for Italy in that first half.
19 assists, and they've been playing through Melli, they're playing through Gallinari, getting those guys the basketball in short pocket passes and rolling to the basket. They got Gallinari the basketball down low a couple times, and he made some big plays there. But for Bahrain, they've got to do a better job just not settling for the three, right? They've done a good job just seeing if you cut at the basket, there's some good looks there for you.
Here's the key players and how they match up after the first 20 minutes of play. Gallinari's been incredible, as you just mentioned. Wayne Chisholm been plagued by foul trouble. That sort of goes away now that we're at halftime. He still has the 3 fouls, but at least he'll be able to play a little longer into the game should he stay out of fouls.
Play a little longer, but he's also had some time to sit on the sidelines to see what's been working, come back out and apply that.
Best plays from the second quarter. Gallinari started things off, showing you the touch from three-point range. And Italy really has been moving the ball terrifically and has been an unselfish first half from Italy.
Yeah, 19 assists for Italy, and you can see the way they're moving the basketball, they're finding guys, making the right plays, and then on the defensive end, they're making it tough on Bahrain, right? So just a really deep team, and we've seen that, a number of guys that you really don't know how to guard them. Gallinari 3 for 3 from the three-point line, and with a team like this, you got to come back out, not settle, be the aggressor, get easy basket, easy looks at the rim, cut into the basket. But it's a tough group to play against. And here's another look. Show you the outside game, but also show you the inside game where the post touch and high IQ, Stefano Tanu. That guy loves a bucket, knows how to get you a bucket. And I love that for him.
Definitely does. As Italy lead 47-25 after the first 10 minutes of play. Coach Paseco, passionate as always. Nicola Melli looking good inside and outside. Two-man game working well with he and Danilo Gallinari, and they take the big lead into the halftime break. Bahrain in their first ever OQTs, trying to hang on. Let's see how they respond after this.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin,
basketball
can bring everyone together. basketball for good.
Nice play, finds way again. Gabriel and the king of South Sudan again with the rim rocker. Juba Airlines one more time.
Schroeder gets in, he goes fast. I don't think they were ready for that. And the blinding speed of Dennis Schroeder.
Holding on, he'll give it to his buddy. What a knob. Hey, remember the name. Doncic hits Horvat. No, it's blocked. Exum there on the read. Mills, extra pass, gives it to the guy with the big block.
Well, he does it with the spectacular save at one end, and then trailing down, Patty Mills finds him for the two-hand stuff.
Petrusa gets in for the dunk. What a great move. Shea turns. Alexander Walker goes in for the rim rocker. Schroeder goes downhill, gets it to the corner. Franz Wagner gets in. A little bit of elevation. Oh, Cressida, what are you doing? And the alley-oop! And Banchero this time does not lay it up. He scores right at the end of the third quarter buzzer.
What do you call this?
Between the legs, alley-oop pass.
Yes! I love it, Jeff. Yes!
I'm sure you can have something better.
Finding Bogdanovic. Turnaround, quick shot, takes it. Bogdanovic. Troika, Troika, Troika. Well, coach, it may be Troika time. He's made the three-pointer. They're going into the halftime break with a 2-point lead.
Oh, a good miss. The USA got it. Bridges from the corner. You have got to be kidding me. Unbelievable. A play for the ages at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Bridges does the unthinkable. Ties the game. 0.2 seconds left.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Moments away from the start of the second half here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. As we take a look at the top scorer from Bahrain. And Haji got hot from three-point range. Was able to get some momentum midway through that second quarter, put Bahrain on a 5-0 run, their best run of the game so far. And you see some of his work here in the first 20 minutes of play, 6 points. And that back shot sparked a little bit of a run and some momentum for Bahrain.
Bang's open on a Tuesday night.
It is definitely open, and Haji was cashing out. On the other side, the top scorer for Italy. Well, you can decide on your own. It's either Nicola Melli or Danilo Gallinari, both of them with 12 points But first, the shooting chart for Haji. He loves the right side of that floor. All of his shots coming from the right side, but the two big makes from deep.
Well, you can imagine that Coach Pasecco is telling his guys, take away his right, take away his right, take away his right.
See if they listen. Start to this second half. Here's the top scorer from Italy. It is Danilo Gallinari. 12 points, perfect from three-point range. Just an efficient night thus far. But I've been really impressed with his playmaking more than his ability to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, everything he does is just so smooth, so fluid. You can see catching the basketball in rhythm, doesn't even think twice about it. And like you mentioned, his ability to play make is what's been impressive. And it's an ode to his IQ that we touched on earlier. And he just sees the game 2 or 3 plays before. And here, Zinomad is playing the high side, just feels him early, spins to the baseline, and there's no help, no defense. So that's not just him getting an easy 2. That's him seeing that play develop before it even happens. And just an efficient night. And you look at it, 3 threes, inside touch, 1 missed shot from that right elbow. But he hasn't even broke a sweat yet. That's been the impressive side.
Well, most people talk about efficiency. They're meaning really field goal percentage. But in terms of Gallinari, when you look at his game, even his movements are efficient.
Yeah, and you touch on a key thing there. Fluid movers, right? Efficient movers. When he runs up the floor, you look at his strides, a nice gait. You know, you look at when he puts the basketball on the floor, he's covering a lot of ground. That's efficiency, right? That leads to, you know, he's exerting far less energy for his shots, for his, you know, defensive possessions and defensive efforts than somebody else, you know, some of his teammates, some of his opponents. And that's what real efficiency looks like. You're looking at him warm up right now, and he looks like he's jogging, but he's still covering, you know, getting to half before his teammates. He's still getting to the rim before his teammates.
We're moments away from the start of the second half. It will be Italy basketball to start it since they lost the opening tap. If you're Bahrain, you have some players, if you take a look at their Italy's shooting percentage, if you're Bahrain, you have some players who are able to get their own look in Chisholm and Zihamuda. How do you free them up to get one-on-one opportunities? Because right now, they're seeing bodies.
Well, first you got to take care of the basketball. The 8 turnovers in the first half. If you're coughing the basketball up, you don't have a chance of seeing any opportunities. But the last, you know, 4 minutes of that second quarter, I thought we start to see something. We start to see them, you know, accept and invite the pressure of Italy and get some backdoor looks, get some backdoor cuts. So if you get a couple of those, maybe the cutter doesn't get the basket, maybe the cutter doesn't get the touch, but somebody else on the weak side, that second pass, that third pass out, gets an open shot. Think about it, they've shot 50% from 2, so they also can't just get comfortable taking tough threes. Cutting to the basket, loosening up the defense that's playing aggressive, that's playing tough, you know, a fiery brand of defense on the basketball, and just use that to your advantage.
On the other side, Italy with the big lead. They're expected to win this game. They're expected to go deep into this tournament, one of the favorites to win it. The second half, when you are favored, how do you stay motivated to really take care of business and not let any bad habits sneak in?
Well, we've got to acknowledge and identify what is the ultimate goal for us, right, in this tournament. Because it's not this game, right? It's not the next game, right? You have one chance to punch a final ticket to the Olympics. So right now in this second half, you're not playing against Bahrain, right? You know you're a better team. You're playing against yourself. And that's the toughest thing to do, is going out there and playing with that intensity and keeping that level of effort up when you know you're probably, you know, a 20-point difference better than your opponent. So going out there and just making sure, okay, we're crisp, right? We're playing our best basketball. We're playing against ourselves. Our passes got to be crisp. Good shots, playing selfless basketball and selfish on both ends of the floor, and a lot of communication.
Italy has a deep bench. They aren't afraid to play all 12 players they brought along with them here in San Juan. We might see them all in the second half. On the other side, you see Ahmed Haji, 6 points, 2 of 8 from three-point range. Found the bank on one of his made threes. And he was instrumental in kind of being another option scoring-wise while Wayne Chisholm sat the entire second quarter due to foul trouble. Chisholm picked up 3 quick fouls halfway through the first quarter. And his team had to go on without him. The veteran presence of this unit, a voice for this squad. He knows team and the coaching staff that's here, they're very self-aware of the opportunity they have in front of them. They know that this is really an opportunity for them to gain experience at this level to hopefully propel them to play in a World Cup in the future or in Olympic Games in the future. Two things that they have not done just yet. Their head coach, Jad El-Hadji, has taken his native Lebanon to the World Cup, at least hoping that he could do the same with Bahrain. Under a minute to go here. This will count down to restart. And a reminder, you scan the QR code on your screen right now. Courtside 1891. Download the app. Scores, streams, schedules, and so much more for FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament and beyond. Courtside 1891, your home for FIBA basketball.
You mentioned something important as well, is Coach Hadji, what he's doing right now is he's building a foundation, right? And for these guys, yes, some of them are, you know, look down my roster, some of them are 29, 37, 29, 23, 33, 26. But to get to that World Cup stage, to get to the Olympic stage, there's a couple guys that are, you know, 22, Z Hamoda, that this right now is just understanding this level of play so that, you know, next time around, he's a leader, right? And he's been here before, has some experience, and all those things matter, right? Just playing against an Italian team that has so much depth right now. So they're still playing for something. Maybe this is 4 years down the line, maybe this is 8 years down the line, but just really cementing that foundation.
Start of the second half. It's Bahrain basketball. They are in the red uniforms, taking on Italy, down 47-25. Here at the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Melli comes up with the steal. Molinaro kicks, and that's a good block there. Swatted out of bounds by Ali Rashid.
Right away, Italy coming out into the second half and forcing another turnover, right? 9 turnovers, getting out on the other end.
So Nudes for 3, it's short. It's going to go out of bounds. Seeing the right intensity out of the gate for Bahrain.
Yes. Diving on the floor and just mixing it up a bit.
Getting back on defensive transition, block shot, block a 3-point attempt. 3-point block shots don't come easy.
No, especially in transition.
Shelley poked it out of bounds. 13 on the shot clock for Bahrain to work with here. And again, Hamuda, who was a primary ball handler in that first quarter, playing a lot more off the ball since then.
I think he has so much more in the tank and he doesn't even realize it. Still going to be putting it to a young guy, putting it all together.
Or pass is stolen by Molinaro. Spisu wants to run a set. Uses a Melli screen. Melli diving down the lane. Molinaro wide open for 3, and it's good. Great execution that time from Italy.
And who makes that pass again? Melli, right at the center of the floor, making the decision on the move as a big man.
Hamuda inside. He got it to go.
Using that wide backside, clearing out space.
Bahrain fall asleep, and now it's 2 baskets in a row now for Molinaro.
It really too good for you to get caught celebrating. Molinaro's already on that other end, out on the other end.
Hamuda drills the 3.
He started out the game taking those tough threes in transition. Looks like he has the ultimate green light. He comes out the second half and says, I'm putting it right back up from 3 in transition.
See the 5 on the floor for Italy. Tonut on the drive, hanging in the air, thought he got hit. And Chisholm vacuums in the rebound. Hadji. Hamuda, good up fake. Lost control of the basketball. Lucky enough to get back possession. 10 on the shot clock, looking for help. Chisholm wanted it on the block. They don't find it. And a turnover. Spisu throws it up. Molinaro, showtime.
Polinaire.
Polonara showing out here in the third quarter. 7 quick points in this period. He's looking to take a foul, and he does. As under stoppage of play to wipe up the wet spot. So you were talking about how Italy has to think about the future. Yeah. That's a moment where you think about the future. You see a wet spot, you need to get the whistle. You take the foul just so the crew can come clean up the wet spot because you're thinking about injury, health, and everything else.
Right, and that's a big part of this game too, right? Is having some luck on your side that everybody stays healthy. So a play like that where you take a foul, you sacrifice. Hey, if that may end up being my 5th later on in the game, but I'm taking it just to make sure that my team is safe and healthy to continue. But it's great to see Polonara in transition, and another guy played against, they called him Polinaire. The way he got above the rim, still has a bit in the tank.
Mahmoud at the foul line, top shot. Oh. Young guy in this tournament, 22 years old. He's starting to kind of feel it, and it's now just becoming a basketball game for him. The foul sends Spissu to the floor. It's the first team foul for Bahrain. You mentioned just with the green light here with this squad, but sometimes when you have vets around you, you're a little bit scared to pull the trigger.
Yeah, you don't know if I'm supposed to, am I okay to take that shot? Am I supposed to play through the offense? You know, when I break the offense, and for him, he's still learning, right? Not only learning, but learning against a old Tanu.
Tanu with a tough move and finish inside.
Just the subtle jab step and the straight beeline drive down the center of the paint. Bahrain has to do a better job of just putting up some resistance.
Tanu on the other end picks up the foul right in front of us. Zihamuda was trying to cut to the basket.
You know, to that, what we were talking about before with Zihamuda is just understanding, you know, he's learning his game, but he's also learning, you know, playing at this level, this intensity. Guy fresh out of college was probably never played against a team that has this much depth. Every time somebody subs in, there's no drop off. They're coming in bigger, they're coming in more physical, just as skilled. All right, there's an adjustment phase for him as well there.
Good hands there by Petruccelli. Feed to Spissu in Italy now, starting to put the clamps on defensively, and that's turning into buckets on the other end.
Deflections, steals, and then you turn this thing into a track meet.
Ahmed Hamuda sets the screen. Haji not afraid to shoot the 3 and knocks that one down.
Okay, now Haji.
Much better flow to this game to start this second half than we began.
Yeah. We started the first half at probably 0 for 8, both teams combined.
Spissu's 3 not there. Chisholm touched it, and Haji kept it in play. Zihamuda has the look in his eye. Feeds it inside. Mohamed Hamuda shows the up fake now, using his body well with the left-hand finish. As he sends Polonara to the deck.
That was 2 dribbles, initiating contact, and then going over that right shoulder with that left hand. Some skill, some physicality.
Spissu uses the Melli screen. Nice Chisholm on him. Melli inside, that's a dunk. An easy one. As Haji tried to go for the steal.
Some good intensity by Bahrain there, but what happens is that ball goes into the post, and because of the exchanges on the backside, there's not enough communication. They get it easy too.
Zihamuda draws 2. Chisholm was open for a second, but another kick saved by Melli. He had one in the first quarter, now in the third. Gallinari checks into the game. For Italy was terrific in the first half with 12 points and super efficient. Here's Melli dunking home.
Part the Red Sea. Little gamble defensively. Power dribble. Checks that left shoulder. 2 hands for safety.
Italy has punished Bahrain so far on the switches. They've taken advantage of, it feels like, of every opportunity that had a big on small. Zihamuda, up fake, cuts well. Chisholm tried to get it to him, fumbled it. Hamuda gets it back now in the corner, draws 2. This is good ball movement from Bahrain. Haji for three, it's off the mark, and Melli with the rebound. Crossing the timeline with 4:53 remaining in third period. It's Spisu, Melli, the extra pass, Petruccelli lays it in.
Good ball movement. Good ball movement. The miscommunication, lost defense starts on the ball screen. Now you're playing 4-on-3. And Italy just does touch passes around the basket, easy looks.
So crisp. Issa. Zihamuda inside. There's a right pass. A little too low for Azam. Iola, Petruccelli, the extra pass. Spisu cutting and lays it in. It's going to lead to a timeout. Italy looking very, very confident here in the third period as they extend the lead. 64-37 with 4:14 remaining in the third period. And a timeout will give us an opportunity to eavesdrop in to Bahrain's huddle.
Si no se han registrado, háganlo y ponchen su pasaporte. Dímelo, Gabriela.
I asked for a foul, you just do the foul. I'm not asking to score and don't asking for a foul, do the foul. I can't foul, man. I see what's going to happen behind this layup.
Mi nombre es Kepapi, soy de Bayamón.
Vayamos en la casa. Bueno, pues para que sigas tuiteando y disfrutando de las cosas buenas que tenemos, tenemos un certificado de la rueda gastronómica de Levittown para ti por ponchar tu pasaporte. Si quieres pensar en ponchar su pasaporte de la aventura, trae ustedes por la Puerto Rico. Seguimos disfrutando.
Gracias.
Hey, let's keep our heads up and finish this strong, man. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
See the value of Wayne Chisholm as they leave that huddle, saying keep your heads up. Let's finish this strong. 4:14 remaining in the third. In a 64-37 affair, Italy in front. Trying to close out their first win of the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament here in Puerto Rico. Glad you could join us wherever you are, however you're doing so. You join in on the conversation on social media using the hashtag FIBA OQT. 10 on the shot clock for Bahrain. That's good defense there by Paola. Stretching out and tapping out of bounds.
Paola shooting the screen, going over the top of it. I'm going to tell you, he had no other option but to get a hand on it, because if he didn't, and that ball got to the corner, that shot goes up right in front of Coach Pasecco, he's going to have a problem with that. Good job, good effort getting that tip.
Ricci and Chisholm battling, and Chisholm hit the deck there. Chisholm gave him a little shot on the way back down the floor. He's playing with 3 fouls, has to be careful. Paola finds Ricci, Gallinari. Paola. Ricci falling away. Can't get it to go, but it's tapped back in by Petruccelli.
Weird, knowing that shot goes up, making the effort come from the weak side, but offensive rebound, offensive tipping.
Issa's 3 off the mark. It's Mannion now. For Petruccelli. Gallinari sets the screen, rolls hard, and that's an easy 2 for him.
Catches it on the roll, and the underhand scoop with enough English on it off the glass, under the basket, might I add.
An example of what we were talking about at halftime, just an efficient mover. Didn't put the ball on the deck, just took a step and laid it off the glass softly. Issa thought about the 3. He'll drive in, kicks it out, and Petruccelli with the hustle once again, poking it out of bounds. 1.5 to shoot for Bahrain.
Well, Italy has not let up on the defensive end, right? They forced turnovers, they forced Bahrain into 14 turnovers, but they've also had a number of deflections, which has made it extremely tough on them.
It's a good screen by Chisholm. Enough time to put it on the deck and get it off for 3 is Haji. Petruccelli behind the play, holding his left side. Runs into your screen now. 77 in white looks to be okay. Mannion, that's too easy.
Nico Mannion.
30-point lead. It's the largest lead of the game for Italy now. Here's Chisholm on the block. His first touch of the third quarter. Banging with Richie. His two big bodies. Find a nice tub after this game. Chisholm for three. It's off the mark. And a very easy rebound for Gallinari. 2 minutes to play here in this third. Mannion finds Richie.
Richie's so good at, he's setting those screens. Before he actually makes contact, he's slipping to the basket. And everybody's so concerned with the guard play that he's wide open under the basket.
That'll be Chisholm. One dribble. Haji got stripped from behind by Payola. And a good foul there by Haji was going to lead to an easy layup. Haji's working hard. So hard, in fact, that number 3 on the front of his jersey is falling off. Speaking of jersey numbers falling off, Hamuda checks into the game with his number 2 on the 24 dangling. They're working hard. Down 32. Keeping the intensity high. Mannion, Ricci. Payola for 3. Can't get it to go. And Chisholm with the rebound. 5-on-4 opportunity right now as Abbas is down on the floor on the other side. And Payola fouls to break up the rush here from Bahrain. Chisholm. First time we see two-man game between Chisholm and Hamuda. Abbas guarding Chisholm on the switch. A veteran move to the pin.
That move, he goes over that right shoulder, but does a good job keeping the dribble alive while Italy is shrinking the floor on the top side. Had 3 defenders essentially in his lap.
Under a minute to go here in the third. Mannion, Ricci. Good up fake as Ricci kisses it home.
It's another look. And again, Ricci setting the screen, but there's no contact. He's slipping to the basket. And Bahrain has to be careful there, just understanding there's no screen being set, so you've got to stay with the roller.
Azam avoiding the block and almost got it to fall. Mannion with about a second difference between shot and game clock. Doesn't matter as Italy turns it over on the backcourt violation. And Caruso will check into the game for the first time here for Italy. One of the youngsters on this squad, 24 years old. 6'9", big body, future of this team. Learning from the tree of the Riccis of the world, the Gallinaris of the world, the Polinaros. Not a bad tree to learn from. 19.9 on the game clock. Because of the turnover, the shot clock starts at 14, so Italy could get another look. It's Hamuda. Haji, a rare 2, can't get it to fall. Under 5 to play. Mannion looks up at the clock, takes his time right down the lane and gets it to go as the third quarter comes to a close.
That's a tough move, right? Did a good job of surveying the court, seeing the clock wind down. About 2 seconds, turned on the jets, went to his left hand and put it to his right.
76-42, Italy in front big here after the first 30 minutes of play. Three quarters in the books. Here are the numbers that tell the story. 23% from three-point range for Bahrain. Italy now struggling a bit from deep. They're shooting upwards around 50%. In that second quarter, that's come down significantly. Hasn't really bothered them too much. They're in complete control in this game. 10 minutes away from their first victory. But here's the best plays from the third quarter and a lot of ball screen action that's really been hurting Bahrain.
Ball screens, they're getting those rolls, and you're getting inside, outside touches on passes. Great jobs by the bigs. Here you see long full court pass. Polonara waiting for the defense to blow by. Just having some fun out there. This transition, Polonara.
He had a stretch where he had 7 straight points for Italy. Zihamuda starting to take more initiative offensively and finding his own shot as opposed to trying to play make for others.
It's funny because we're watching the game go on and you can see guys start to get a bit more comfortable, a bit more, almost relaxed in a sense. And you and I spoke about it before where you have those nerves starting out in these games and you're playing, some of these guys that you probably watch playing in EuroLeague. You've seen Gallinari play, in the NBA. And wow, we've never been in front of this type of talent before. But then the nerves go and you realize, wait, this is just basketball. And things start to normalize. You settle in a bit. And I can play too. I have some skill. I can put the ball on the floor. I can get to the rack. It is just hoops.
Courtside 1891, you saw the QR code on your screen. You can find it in your app store. Download it now for scores, streams, schedules, and so much more from the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Start of the fourth quarter, Italy in front big in this one. First game of the OQTs here in Puerto Rico. And it's a 76-42 scoreline in favor of Italy. Bahrain still battling and fighting hard. This is their first ever OQT game and first ever game on this stage. The moment that ball went in the air, it already became the biggest game Bahrain's ever played in. They're taking a lot of experience from this one. 5 on the court for Italy. Russo, Talani, Ricci, Abbas, and Meni. And Ricci with a nice move, getting to the rack. He's going to add that to his highlight mixtape.
That looks tougher. He made it look easy, but his body going, his momentum going to his left, and him finishing on the inside hand, tough.
Muda off the mark on that pullback 3.
Muda's going to look back at this film and look at some of the shots that he's taken and realize, like, wait, one more dribble, I get to the basket. Hesitation, I can get to the rack. Make things easier on himself. But that's all a part of, the development. And similar to Abbas, when he was much younger, he was a little bit wilder, right? Didn't really understand, didn't let the game come to himself. And now, completely different player.
What was the hardest thing for you as a player as you were going through the different stages of your development?
Well, and it's funny because you asked me yesterday where did I learn the most, and it was in Italy. And that was also the toughest, phase for me. I had, some great coaches, Renato Pasquale. I've had some interaction with Gianmarco Pasecco as well. But just learning the Italian way of playing, brand and culture of basketball, where it's a lot of ball screens. And in America, we were taught use a ball screen and get to the basket. When I got over to Europe, it was use a ball screen, force the defense to make a decision. And now you're looking over at the weak side. You're looking over at the 45, using your short rollers for bigs that can pass the basketball, like Meli, like Gallinari, a lot of these skilled bigs that you're seeing Polonara with Italy. But I didn't want to buy into that. I didn't understand it. But that made the game so much easier for you when you got to move the ball and use the ball as a weapon, because the pass moves faster than any defense can. And those are some of my best years in Italy, just playing and learning the game there.
That type of style naturally extends your career a little bit.
It does. It does. And young guys have to understand that. You get paid to win, right? You get paid to make winning plays. And if you can prove, that's a nice. See, that's what we're talking about. Touch passes like that in transition, unselfish play, getting your teammate a basket. You also get an assist that shows up on the box score.
40-point game. One of the younger players, Nico Mannion, seems to be learning to move the ball. Although he played a lot.
easy, good open rhythm three.
For the younger players who may be watching right now, trying to learn something, you mentioned Abbas, kind of should get somewhat of a hockey assist by just sprinting hard to that spot.
Sprinting the floor. He sprinted that right side, and he took 2 defenders with him, which allowed Mannion to make that pass to the left for an open 3. So he did a number of things, and he didn't touch the basketball once, and that is why he's playing at this level, right? This is why he's playing for his national team. This is why he's had an extended career.
He's also locking in defensively right now. 3 on the shot clock. Hachi for 3, tried to bank one home, can't get it to go. He did that in the first half. Unable to do so here in the fourth. As Mannion tries to run a set. Now sees a mismatch, so Abbas with an open floor on the left side. Fall away is there.
Kobe-esque.
It was a good look.
Kobe-esque.
And we talked about his development all night long. You're seeing it in real time. Haji for 3. That's off the mark. Mannion vacuums in another rebound. Mannion behind the back pass to Ricci. Delani now with Hassan on his back. Ricci will show you the 3. Off the mark. And Issa clamps down a rebound. Here's Haji. A lot of perimeter play in this game for Bahrain. That's something that they will look at and maybe rectify going up against Puerto Rico, who isn't as big as Italy. Amuda. Over Ricci. Soft touch. Hey. Amuda's had some nice mid-range jump shots tonight. Just not enough offense.
Not enough. You know what it is? He's had those highlight buckets. So every point he's had has been a tough using your body or tough over the shoulder. Nice looks.
Ricci drills the corner 3 over Amuda. Amuda with a cut down the lane. Hassan. And the crowd erupts as Hassan drills the mid-range jump shot, puts a smile on his face. You gotta love that. Ortolani puts it up and in, and he'll go to the line for one more. Hassan's celebration short-lived as he fouls Ortolani on the other end. Or excuse me, Caruso on the other end. So here's the Hassan, the jump. Soft touch. Smile from his head coach. A smile on the face of Hassan as he was trotting back on defense. Gym beginning to fill up for game number 2. And we'll see Mexico take on Lithuania. Lithuania's first time playing in an OQT outside of Europe. And guess what? Their fans had traveled. Oh, look at Hassan with the pass. He's putting on a show here in the fourth. Issa with the finish. Hassan with the delivery. Chance of defense coming in from the crowd now. Abbas. Otolani, deep 3. Off the mark. Hassan vacuums it in. The crowd favored here in Puerto Rico.
Hassan is putting on a clinic right now.
You got to put his jersey on sale. Issa for 3. Off the mark. Look at Hassan hustling back. But Polonara lays it in the crowd, letting him know how they feel about that.
Let's quiet down. Turn it down a notch.
A fun vibe here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. These fans just love basketball. Hamuda bullying his way to the 10 and puts it up and in. He'll go to the line for one more.
I'll tell you, there's one person out there that hasn't been afraid all night, and it's Hamuda. He's gotten that basketball at that same spot a couple times, and it doesn't matter who's in front of him, backing them down 2, 3, 4, 5 dribbles through that left shoulder, saying, listen, you got to eat this.
And that's not a small player in Polonara, who he's backing down. 6'9", over 200 pounds. That's a big boy.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy.
Amuda with the offensive rebound off of his free throw miss and then got fouled. So Italy starting to show a little sloppiness here in the last couple of possessions. 5:07 to play here in the fourth. Of course, they lead big, but you know that Coach Pacheco is looking for opportunities to teach and make sure they take care and clean things up, because the tournament is now underway. Things are not going to get easier after this game. Deep three, that's blocked on the way to the rim by Caruso, and Abbas now in the front court. Orgalani got bumped by Hassan, and that turnover is there. Numbers for Bahrain. Issa for three, drills it. Nico Mannion just screamed at his team and said, hey, let's go. Despite the scoreline, still wanting his team to look crisp. That's one of the youngest players on the floor. That's a tough look by Abbas.
That is tough. He showed us a shot earlier on the left block. Now he gets it on the right block. He just spins away from the defense.
Crowd encouraging Hassan to shoot. He gave it up. He's open now. Hassan, fall away. Hit the side of the glass.
If he hit that one, I'm telling you, I would have left right here and got me a Hassan jersey.
Nico Mannion crosses the timeline with 3:45 remaining in the game. 10 to shoot. He's looking for Abbas, who hit fadeaway previously on the last possession. That's good ball movement now for Italy. Caruso falls away. No good. Fresh 14 for Italy. Bortolani left wide open for three, and he puts it in.
Look how he got that. He could have took that first shot, and then took that one dribble in the left hand to get himself a rhythm and tee it up.
Century mark here for Italy. And Bortolani's going to get called for the foul. And Coach Pacheco looks on. Ali Hassan will leave the game, gets a round of applause, a standing ovation, in fact.
Song for MVP.
Hits the bench. He's definitely the fan favorite, definitely the fan's choice for MVP, as he's replaced by Zia Buda. With 3:18 remaining in this game. Has to be a good feeling when you get out there in a game like this and the crowd appreciates your effort throughout the night.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Basketball fans and pundits and enthusiasts, they appreciate when you go out there and play with effort.
It's a great spin move, but the finish not there, as Polonara now gets fouled from behind. It's the fourth team foul here for Bahrain in this fourth period. Next one will put Italy at the line the remainder of the game. Mohamed Bouala, number 1 in red, checks in. Nice look that time by Bortolani, and an easy lay-in for Polonara.
Yeah, he comes off of that right stagger and does a good job putting that ball in his inside hand so he can curl it tight and then drops it off to Polonara, forcing the big to step up.
He suffered 3, missed it. Polonara vacuums in another board. A big night for him in terms of rebounds. Polonara, hard dribble. Mannion left all alone for 3, had all day to set it up, and he knocked it down with ease.
Extra pass, open shot, give your team a look. Guess what? It gives him the confidence to get it back to you next time. Unselfish play leads to unselfish baskets.
See the rebound and count for Italy, and look out, Caruso, showtime. That dunk's going to lead to a timeout with 2:17 remaining in the game. Italy cruising in this one, 107-53. They'll pick up their first win here at the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico. On the other side, Bahrain, their first ever game at this level. A lot of pride in this team coming into this tournament. They knew that they were going to be up against it. They knew that they had a tough task ahead of them. Once they finish this last 2:17, it's time to think about, hey, what's next for this program? And on that calendar is a date with the host nation, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and you know, that game doesn't get any easier because it's going to be a packed arena. It's going to be a packed gym. And the first step in that direction is, hey, we've got to take care of the basketball. That's first and foremost. That's most important, right? They 18 turnovers tonight, and a lot of those were live ball turnovers, which end up going out the other way. But that is something in your control, whether it is handling the pressure, whether it's making crisp passes, crisp decisions. That's something that's in your control. You look at some film and just understand, okay, I can't just fold the pressure. I can't just cough the basketball up, because you give your opponent so much more confidence with the shots that they get from those turnovers, especially live ball turnovers.
Turnovers is something they can clean up. You also expect them to shoot a little bit better from the field right now, 33%. Some of that has to do with just the shot selection that they've taken tonight. But they had some makeable shots that they did miss as well.
And it's always going to start with the quality of the shot. And if you're taking off-balance, tough, contentious shots, it's going to be a lot harder to get in rhythm. But we've seen points where they've got the ball in the post, got some cuts, move the basketball, you get open rhythm shots, it's going to be a lot easier.
On the other side for Italy, they'll have the rest day tomorrow. And then play Puerto Rico on the 4th of July. And that game will have so much emotion, so much intensity. This, the largest arena on the island here in Puerto Rico, you would think that game is potentially for first place here in Group B.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one, right? Because look at Puerto Rico, and they have really good guard play. Jose Alvarado and Tremont Waters, and those two guys are the head of the snake, double-headed snake for that team over there. Going to be able to handle the pressure of Italy's defense, get into their pick and rolls, and two guys that are also creators, two guys that can score for themselves, two guys that can facilitate for their teammates as well. So Italy's going to have their handful there.
Everyone playing in this one for Italy, so all 12 players touching the court in this victory. As Caruso now with 3 to shoot. Caruso, tough move.
My goodness. Oh my.
You see why he's playing with the national team. Coach Pacheco doesn't just give you a roster spot if he doesn't expect you to be able to contribute when the time comes. And this Guillermo Caruso, a youngster at 6'9" with that skill, a future player, a long time for the Azzurri, and that shot missed there by Hamuda.
Just 24 years old.
Good size. And you know he's going to only get better in that system. As is Barolani, who drops in the floater. Barolani, a year younger than Caruso at 23 years of age. Hamuda is going to dribble out this clock. As there's about
5-second difference.
Yeah, 5-second difference between shot and game. And the crowd just appreciating here what Bahrain has done. Their first ever game at a FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. Very proud nation. And they'll take this lesson and move forward. And that is the official end to the ball game. 114-53, your final score. Italy picks up their first win here in Group B. And Bahrain look forward to build upon this monumental game in the history of this men's basketball program.
Italy, a tremendous job coming out and not playing to the level of their opponent, but playing up, to their standard, playing up to their, intensity and what their expectations of themselves are. And 39 assists with 114 points. Like, we've really seen that ball pop. We've seen it move. We've seen touch passes. We've seen inside play by Gallinari, Ricci, Polinaro. What was impressive is also seeing some of those plays being made from, pocket passes. And Melli did a tremendous job of finding guys on the fly. But the depth of Italy is going to be something for this tournament. The skill, the shooting, and just a group that has some connectivity, some really cohesive fabric there.
Only to the semifinals, which will be played on Saturday, July the 6th. Before we get there, let's talk about the best plays from the fourth quarter. Russo adding to his highlight reel with a couple of slick moves around the basket. Ortolani got in there, so the 24 and 23-year-old really showing their worth here early in game number 1.
A lot of skill. Here you see a nice tough shot, 14 feet out, transition play, kick out. Bucket.
Crowd got into it as Hassan Anissa knocked down some shots. The development of that man right there, Abbas, showing up in this one.
Channeling his inner Mamba mentality.
Nico Mannion, speaking of youngsters, Mannion, he's one of the youngsters on this team, just 23 years old, and was able to show up in this one for Italy. He played like a vet tonight, though, and really kind of galvanized his team in the back end. And his play this tournament is going to be so important. There's a lot of talented guards. He's going to see 2 of them in Waters and Alvarado in their next contest. So Italy cruises to victory and win in a big way. They grab the 2 points, a 114-53 finish, as Bahrain playing their biggest game in the men's basketball program history. It ends up in a loss, but a ton of lessons and some bright spots that they can build on as they get through things here at the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in San Juan. Final score in this one, 114-53. Italy rolling behind Gallinari and Melli, the 2-headed monster. We're dominant in this one. For Javon Shepard, I am Carlin Gay. We will see you shortly. Game number 2, Lithuania and Mexico. Not long away.